Hey friends, welcome to the page. I'm Ken Smith and really excited to bring today's video to you. This is Ryan, otherwise known as Tebo Barn, and I had an opportunity to do an exclusive interview with him sitting on the back bumpers of both of our cars as we're at Old Car Festival enjoying the entire weekend festivities at one of the greatest car shows, if not the greatest car show on the planet. So without wasting any further time, let's get right into the video and enjoy. Pretty much it, man. Get a little background. Hey guys, I am with Ryan from Tebo's Barn, and if you followed him at all on Facebook, you know who he is. So Ryan, tell me a little bit about how you got into Model A's.
So since I was a little kid, I grew up around them. My grandfather has a few of them, and my uncle has several of them. So I grew up going to the car shows and driving them, and I just got hooked on them as a young age, and it's all been downhill since.
So last year I had a chance to ride in your mail truck.
Yep.
And that has a fantastic story about it. Can you give me a Reader's Digest version of it?
Yeah, so that's a 1929. It's actually a Huckster, not an official U.S. postal mail truck.
Right.
But it was used in Sanford, Maine from 1929 to 1961 as a parcel post truck. It was in Ripley's in 1953 for doing the equivalent of 6 times around the world and not leaving the town limits of Springville, Maine. So, and I live about a half hour from that area.
Okay, so it's been in that area its whole life, right?
Yeah.
So there's something really cool that you didn't say, but I remember. So the guy who bought that truck bought it because he was retiring
his horse.
So,
Yep.
That's an amazing story, man.
And,
so go ahead.
Then when he was finished with it in 61, I believe. And it got sold locally. They used it to go to the dump, and then it sat in that barn till around 2001, I think, where a local dealer had bought it, and he lived not too far from a car cruise that I went to every other Monday night.
Right.
And I have pictures of me riding in the truck with him when I was, 8 years old.
Right.
So
So I rode in that truck last year, and I couldn't open the door right away. And the reason why I couldn't open the door right away is that he was kind enough to bungee the door closed so that it would stay on from main and back. But
yeah,
it was a fun ride.
I pretty much left it looking like it came out of the barn, but mechanically it's been gone through. But it needs it again because I think I've put probably 40,000 on it since I've done it mechanically.
So speaking of miles, you did something that's absolutely fantastic, and that was back during COVID.
Yes. In 2020, I drove a 1929 two-door from New Hampshire to Chicago, got on Route 66, and followed Route 66 all the way to Santa Monica, and then went up to Washington State and weaved my way back through to New Hampshire.
So how many miles was that?
It was 8,011 miles in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks, and that was before Bert's motor came out, right?
Yes.
So you did that on a stock motor.
It was inserted.
Right.
It had a counterweighted crank in it, but it was an original block.
Yeah.
No oil pressure.
Yeah. And how many times did it break down?
I got one flat tire in South Dakota, and that was pretty much. I had a carburetor issue, which was kind of my fault.
Right.
I kind of knew it was a little questionable before I left, but I didn't deal with it, and I ended up just picking one up from Snyder's actually in Ohio on my way out.
Yeah, solved that problem. So that is kind of the segue into you deciding to do a major career change.
Yeah, so of course the Model A's and T's have been a passion of mine for my whole life.
Right.
And I was always reluctant. I didn't want to make my hobby my career. But I worked for a place for 11 years as a manufacturing engineer, and I was just tired of some of the corporate stuff and all that.
Right.
So I decided to make the change and make the Model A, Model T thing my career. For years I've worked on them on the side for people.
Right.
But I made it my official job about a year and a half ago now.
About a year and a half ago, and it's been very successful, hasn't it?
It has been. I'm very fortunate. You know, I got a shop full of stuff. I got a list that I'm working on from for people who want stuff done.
Right.
So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. And that I can come to events like this. And I can say it's partially work.
And you can walk by and go, hey, here's my card, because you need a little help.
Yeah, sometimes.
So, speaking of motors, you got a Burt's motor in this, don't you?
I do. So, I built this Burt's a few weeks before I came out here.
Brave guy.
And I had about 100 miles on it before I left. I really wanted to get it in the car like a month earlier and get some miles on it, but there was just too much going on.
Yeah, customer cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get it. And then something else that I found really fascinating is that you have acquired another type of vehicle that you are quickly enjoying.
Yes. So a few years ago, my first time coming to this show, Car Fest, I met some of the steam car guys, and since then I've become friends with several of them. And earlier this year, I was able to acquire a 1923 Stanley 740 sedan, 5-passenger. So I got to go on a steam car tour earlier this year, which was actually in New Hampshire, just about an hour and a half north of me, which I've met even more of the guys and become friends with them. So yeah, this whole steam thing is pretty new to me.
Right. So, well, not too new, because obviously I saw you driving around all weekend long here in nothing but steam cars. So,
I was fortunate enough the Smiths let me drive their 1910 Model K, which I drove through the gas and brass tour last night here at Greenfield, which was a lot of fun. And I don't know, I don't think I wore out the whistle, but I certainly used it a lot.
Yeah. So, speaking of steam, where are you heading off from here?
So from here, I'm heading down to Jackson, Missouri, where they're having a 5-day long steam car tour. So I'm meeting up with a friend down there. I'm going to ride with him as a navigator in his 23 Stanley.
And then from Missouri, drive home.
Then from Missouri home.
And how many miles is that?
I think it's roughly like 1,200 miles
just
from
roughly
Missouri
1,200
home.
miles in a Model A.
It's 600 from here to Missouri.
So you should be able to do that overnight. I mean,
yeah. I mean, a few have already said you can't get there in a day, so I don't know. It might be a challenge. See if I can get there in a day.
Yeah, I do know somebody that actually drove from East Tennessee to Dearborn in a Model A, and they did it in a day. And that's 575 miles. It wasn't me, but it was somebody in our club. But he did it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I got an iron butt for that anymore. But that's cool, man. So you got your business going. It's rolling pretty well. You're happy that you left corporate America.
I am.
Playing around with Model A's for a living, that's not too bad. Do you work on anything other than just the Model A's?
I do Model T's too, and every once in a while I get sucked into something else.
Something like a fire truck.
Well, yeah, fire truck's a whole different story. But I try to stay to the A's and T's right now. Because I'm kind of set up to be able to do that efficiently.
So when do you plan on leaving here? Probably pretty soon, I would imagine, right?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Cool. Well, listen, man, have safe travels. It's great to hang around with this guy all weekend long, man. I've been very honored. Well, maybe I shouldn't say hang around, because he was in everyone else's car but mine.
Well, there's still time.
Well,
no, it's always fun hanging out.
Absolutely.
We've had a lot of fun here.
Yeah, we really have. Yeah.
Too bad we didn't live a little closer.
Yeah.
That could be dangerous.
That would be very that would be very dangerous. I have more than one car, and my wife said I could have whatever one car I want. So
she hasn't talked to me.
Yeah, I know. Right? All right, Ryan. Thanks a whole lot, man.
Thank you.
Friends, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. It was just a real blessing for me to be able to sit down and just chat with Ryan and get to know him even a little bit better. And if you don't know him, now you know him a little bit better. Ryan is an amazing mechanic and Model A, Model T guru guy. He has gotten, he's actually fixed cars here at Old Car Festival. Last year he fixed somebody's fan and water pump issue that they were having on their Model A. And he also got a gentleman on his road. He was about 2.5 hours in his drive from Maine to Wyoming in a Model A and broke down. Ryan not only went and picked him up in a trailer, but got him on the road to about 11 o'clock that evening, working nonstop, kind of fixing his Mitchell transmission issues. So that's the type of mechanic he is. That's the type of business owner he is. If you're in the New England area, I highly recommend that you look him up. I'll put a link to his website down in the description below. And hope you enjoyed today's video. Most of all, be blessed.